Assalamu alaikum. Let's learn something new today in JavaScript. So for example, let's say I have a variable, let's say my name, and this variable contains my name. So for example, I want to give my first name here as that, and that is Muhammad Fahim, and I can add my last name in another variable. Let's say my name too equal to being Amin. As I want a space after Muhammad Fahim, so I have added a space here. But if you want, you can do this like this. You can add that extra space in the first line as well. This will work fine. All right. So console log my name and console log my name too. All right. Now if I simply run this, you see that my name is getting printed. But let's say I want to append my name in a single line. I don't want to print my name in different lines. Yeah, I know that you can say that there are a lot of ways to do that. And for the easiest way for us to do it using the string concatenation method. All right, so let me simply comment everything here. And let's say I am declaring another variable. Let's say I'm going to name it something like full name. All right, so there goes my first name, Muhammad Fahim. I am adding a space here, and I can use the plus operator to use string concatenation feature of the JavaScript. All right, so let's say Muhammad Fahim being Amin. That's it. And if I want to print it using console log, I can obviously do that. So like this. So if I simply run this, you see my full name is getting printed here. All right. Now there are a lot of ways to do this thing in different methods. For example, let me simply comment this, and let's say I'm gonna declare this variable again full name, but this time I'm going to do something different. For example, I am adding my first name here. All right, and I'm going to append the last name in the same variable. All right, so as I don't want to create another variable, but I want to append another line in the exact same variable, so I have to use the same variable name. And for appending that, I can simply use plus equal operator. All right, and I am adding the last part of my name right here. And if I simply console log this full name, and let me simply run it for you, you see that this is working like earlier. Now you might have a question that if both of them gives the same result, then what's the benefit of using different things in different way? I know the answer for you, so let me simply provide a clear explanation for you. All right, so for example, I'm simply commenting everything again, and let me simply declare another variable. Let's say I'm gonna create another variable named full string. Sorry, let me simply create the variable like this, full paragraph, and let's write a paragraph today. All right, so let's say I'm going to give the first line something like this is the first line of the paragraph and a space. And if I want to add another line, or you can say if I want to append another line in the same variable, then definitely in the earlier method, what I need to use, I need to use the plus operator for using this string concatenation feature. All right, so I can simply copy this line and add it here, and this would be my second line. And obviously, let's say I want to add another line, I need to use the plus operator again, and let's say this would be the third line. So this list goes on and on, and you can see that this single line is getting longer based on how many extra lines we want to spend in this single string variable. For example, I have simply added 3 single sentences, but this line has already gotten pretty big. And let's say if I want to add more 10 or 50 sentences, then this line would be very difficult to manage later on. All right, and this doesn't look good either. right? Because whenever we want to inspect something, we have to read the entire value like this. This is very much troublesome and boring. So we are not going to use this type of thing for string concatenation whenever we want to store or append large line. Instead of using this thing, or you can say instead of doing this method or using this method, we should use the second method whenever we want to store longer line in a single string variable. All right, so let's say I'm gonna create a different variable. Let's say I'm gonna name it full paragraph 2. All right, so I can simply copy this. So full paragraph 2's first line is, this is the first line of the paragraph. All right, now for the second part, let me simply grab the second part from here. Yep, this is it. And this time I am going to append using the second method. So I'm gonna use the second method like this, plus equal, and this is it. All right, and for the third and the last line for now, this would be again plus equal, and this was the third line. Now let me provide you with the example like this. Let's say I want to console log the first way, that would be full paragraph, and if I simply run it, you see that this is the first method. But for now, let me simply comment it out, and let me simply print the second method like this. Okay, now if I simply run this, you see both of the lines are exactly the same, as both of the methods provide the same answer. So obviously we can use either one, but for the simplicity and for removing any type of complexity or boredom, we should use the second method whenever we want to store, or you can say whenever we want to append large data. For example, as I am using paragraphs, so I can pretty much assume that this individual string data can contain a large number of lines, or you can say a large number of sentences. So if I use the first method here, the single line would become very large and it would be very much troublesome for us to inspect later. But if we use the second method like this would be very easy for us. For example, you see, this is the first line, this is the second line, this is the third line, and obviously we are using string concatenation, but using the second method for appending it, and it looks so much clearer, nicer, and it's very easy to inspect. All right, so there you go. So the suggestion, or you can say the recommendation for this video is, whenever we see that we are using a string variable, that's fine, but it won't take longer lines. So definitely you can use the first method. But if it gets something like this, that a variable needs to store a larger data or many sentences, then the second method would be your go-to thing. All right, so that's it. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and you can follow me in GitHub, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I provide all of the link in this video's description. Make sure to check the article out, obviously. So that's it. Thank you.